Hey Boas, it's Sarah here and welcome back to another Hot Books review. Today's choice of beverage is an iced drink, and to be on theme with our book selection today, I wanted like a deep red color. So I put a Coca-Cola Poppy in here with a little bit of tart cherry juice. It's typically what people use for the Sleepy Girl mocktails. I'm gonna do a little close up, but I've seen so many people put this edible glitter in, and it just makes the drink so much more fun. It's like I'm drinking a potion. Today's book, we are doing a fantasy rom-com, and it is called My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. This came out, I think, last year, and I saw a decent amount of people putting this on their TBR, but by the time I got it, it was way past fall, so I was waiting for this year to read it, and I'm so glad that I did, and let me tell you why. Cover design, I'm gonna be giving this one a 3 out of 5. The cover in itself is pretty basic, but I will say I do love the color palettes of the pink and the purple. I'm so glad that they didn't use red like they would usually do for vampire books. It definitely makes it more fun. Doesn't look scary. It looks like a rom-com in my opinion. Even the back, it's pretty simple. Just the two colors split in half. So well, let's move on to the plot. Casey Greenberg is an artist, but she got no money. With another eviction literally knocking at her doorstep, she is forced to search for another place to stay. On her search, she finds an apartment with a rent that just seems too good to be true, and given her circumstances, an offer she cannot pass up. But it didn't go over her head that something might be weird with this guy. And of course, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, her new roommate, also seems to have some particular habits. The longer that she lived at this apartment, Frederick was starting to grow on her. Until one day, she comes home and finds bags of blood in the fridge. And Frederick had no choice but to come clean to her. This one was so fun. I adore this book so much. If you ask me what my perfect rom-com is, it's something like this. The fact that it's also fantasy, vampire specifically, just made it that much more better. I laughed so hard. The storyline itself is so lighthearted. Such a good laugh. It was so perfect. I love this one so much. I find it kind of hard to find flaws in this one, in the sense of, aside from the characters, the storyline I personally thought was pretty well written. It wasn't too cringy. It wasn't too over the top. The dialogue, the story flow fit the characters so well that it was so natural. But I will say there's not much of a world build, which is quite strange because once you read it and you kind of understand where the trajectory of this book is going to go, you would think that there'll be a really big world build, but unfortunately, there really isn't. It's more of like a feel-good type of story, if you get what I mean. I'm gonna give the plot a 4.5 out of 5. Tears, no tears. It was a rom-com. I will say the romance in this one was pretty high in the sense that the ending of the book really revolves around romance. For that, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, only because the storyline itself isn't about love, which is quite interesting, but hear me out. The main plotline itself, which I don't want to spoil, so I'm not gonna say too much, the goal of it wasn't love. I think it ended in love, and that's what it led to. The start of it had nothing to do with love. It really doesn't. And even when that goal is like solved, quote unquote, it doesn't end with love because it's a whole different issue in itself. So I hope that makes sense. Characters are where it's at. This book was so enjoyable because of the characters. I know a lot of people didn't like Frederick's personality because he has no personality. Man is dense. He is clueless, like no thought appear, which personally I love that. I found it so hilarious. And then I know there's a lot of people who don't like Cassie because she's a little too all over the place. But coming from me, who has a sibling who is an artist, it felt like a normal thing for me. Like, I wasn't so annoyed with her or anything like that. I was just like, oh, I feel like I was thinking of my sister. And then you put those two together, so fun. And then we got our side characters. Reginald, pure gold. His relationship with Frederick was hilarious. They're so different, but similar at the same time. And just something about their dynamic worked so well. I don't know. It was just so funny. So yeah, characters for me is getting a 5 out of 5. Which overall leads me to give this book a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend it. It's just so fun. This is what I look for in a rom-com. When I say that I'm looking for a rom-com, it's something like this. This was her debut novel, and personally, I thought it was really good. Second book, we'll be doing a review on that next week, so stick around for that. If you have a chance to read this one, please let me know what you thought down below. below because that was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to review some one of them, and I'll see you guys next time with Sarah. Bye!